All right, let's talk about UI testing. If you're building components, you know it can be a real headache. But what if I told you there's a new workflow that might just be the ultimate solution? We're going to dive into component testing in Storybook 9, which is now supercharged by a really cool partnership with Vitest. Let's get into it. So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll hit on that classic UI testing dilemma we all face. Then, we'll see why Storybook is now the perfect testing hub. We'll break down the 3 key checks for quality, look at how you can do it all in just one click, and of course, wrap up with how you can get started with this stuff today.
Okay, first things first. Let's talk about the problem. And honestly, if you're a front-end dev, you know this one all too well. It's the classic UI testing dilemma, this frustrating trade-off we've been forced to make for years. So you've got 2 choices, right? On one side, you've got your unit tests. Man, they are fast, but they're also kind of blind. They test your logic, sure, but they have no idea what your component actually looks or feels like in a browser. Then on the other side, you've got end-to-end tests. These are awesome for fidelity. They run in a real browser, testing the actual UI. But you know the drill. They're slow, they're flaky, and you can really only use them for a handful of your most critical user flows. It's a tough spot to be in.
But what if you didn't have to make that choice? What if there was a better way? Well, that's exactly where Storybook is stepping in. It's becoming this ultimate testing hub, creating the absolute perfect environment for a third option, component testing.
So what is component testing really? Just think of it as the absolute sweet spot. You get the lightning speed of unit tests, plus the real-world in-browser fidelity you get from end-to-end tests, but you get to ditch all the major downsides. It's truly the best of both worlds, the balance we've all been looking for.
And here's the kicker. You're probably already halfway there. I mean, you're already using Storybook to build out and document every possible state of your components, right? The loading state, the error state, the disabled state, all of it. And since all those different variations are already captured as stories, it just makes perfect sense for Storybook to be the place where you test them.
Okay, so let's break this down. How does this actually work? Well, it all boils down to a complete quality check. To make sure a component is really ready for production, Storybook helps you answer 3 fundamental questions.
Question number 1, and it's the big one. Does it actually work? You know, if a user clicks a button or fills out a form, does it do what it's supposed to do?
That's where interaction tests come into play. You use a simple play function to write scripts that basically act like a user, clicking things, typing into fields. Then you just assert that the component behaves the way you expect. And here's the really cool part. Thanks to that new Vitest integration, you can run all of these tests across all your stories with a single click. And if something breaks, no problem. You can literally step through each interaction to see exactly where it failed. It's fantastic for debugging.
All right, next up, question number 2, and this one is super important. Is your component inclusive? Can everyone actually use it, no matter their abilities? This is where accessibility tests save the day. They automatically scan your rendered component against all the WCAG standards, and it's all powered by Axe Core, which is the industry standard. Storybook 9 also has a redesigned accessibility panel that makes debugging way easier by grouping the violations. And here's a really smart feature from Chromatic, which works hand in hand with Storybook. It's called accessibility regression testing. Basically, it takes a snapshot of your current accessibility issues and then only alerts you to new ones. This is huge because it lets you stop the bleeding and prevent new problems while you chip away at existing tech debt. And finally, question number 3. This is the one that your unit tests are completely clueless about. Does it actually look right?
This is what visual tests are for. They catch all those sneaky visual bugs by taking a pixel-perfect snapshot of your component and then comparing it after you make a code change. And the best part? You don't have to write a single line of new test code. It just works using the stories you already have. This is all powered by Chromatic, which is a cloud service made by the Storybook team. And whenever it spots a difference, you can see the before and after image diffs right inside Storybook.
So, we've got these 3 powerful ways to check our components. But the real magic, the part that makes this a true game changer, is how it all comes together in a totally seamless one-click workflow.
And the heart of this whole new experience is the test widget. You'll see this little guy in the sidebar, and it's basically your new command center. It anchors the entire workflow and, you guessed it, lets you test everything with just one click. The workflow itself is just beautiful. It's as simple as this. 1, you hit Run All Tests, or just pop it into watch mode. That kicks off all your interaction, accessibility, and visual tests for the entire project. 2, if anything fails, you can instantly filter your sidebar to see only the stories that have problems. No more hunting around.
And 3, you just click a failed story and jump right into the dedicated panels to debug what's wrong, whether it's a broken interaction, an A1Y issue, or a visual bug.
So you might be wondering, what's making all this so fast and smooth? The answer is Vitest. The Storybook team partnered with them for a reason. As they put it, Vitest is really the successor to Jest. It just has way better performance and a much better developer experience, and that's what makes this whole integrated workflow even possible.
And this leads to a really powerful idea: portable stories. See, your stories aren't just for looking at in the Storybook UI anymore. With tools like composeStories, you can pull them right into your actual test files. This little code snippet here shows you running a story's play function directly in your CI pipeline. Think about that. You're reusing the setup from Storybook to run tests anywhere. It means your stories are your tests.
Okay, I know, this all sounds pretty awesome, right? Well, the best part is you don't have to wait. You can get this entire workflow set up in your own project today. Let's walk through exactly how to do it. And seriously, it is super straightforward. If you're starting a brand new project, just run npm create storybook at latest, and you'll get everything you need. If you've already got a Storybook project, just run the upgrade command to get on Storybook 9. The migration is really smooth.
Once you're on the latest version, you just add the power-ups. You run one command to add the Vitest add-on for all the core testing stuff, then another for the accessibility add-on, and a third for the chromatic add-on for visual tests. And that's it. You've got the whole 3-part quality check ready to go.
So, when you put it all together, this isn't just a small update, it's a fundamental shift in how we can build high-quality UIs. It really leaves you with one big question to chew on. What would it mean for you and your team if you could actually catch every single UI bug, functional, visual, and accessibility, before it ever even thinks about shipping to production?